why Wall Street can't embrace Bitcoin. We talked about why Wall Street can't embrace Tesla.
What's the best argument to be bearish? Is there an argument that you would say, hey, if I had to be a bear for a day, this is what I would point to?
I mean, we talked about why Wall Street can't embrace Bitcoin. We talked about why Wall Street can't embrace Tesla or Elon Musk. What do you have to accomplish? Like, what does Elon Musk have to do for people to go, yeah, I guess I agree. Tesla's not a car company. I don't know what has to happen. So with the economy, this has a lot to do with how bearish people were with the tariffs. It has to do with a lot of political issues that I think they just have in general. The Fed independence, again, another academic story of if you sit in a dark room and you say to people, do you really think they're independent? It's ridiculous. I heard your interview with Mel Madison, who, you know, I said to you, I think he's great. He's a great historian of the Fed. I think he talks about things in a way that makes it interesting. I don't hear that from people who are bearish. I hear a lot of anger. I hear a lot of arguments. And I was just at a Robinhood event where, again, like it is when I go to crypto event, nobody there is bearish. I'm not saying they're uber bullish either. They're looking for trades and they're looking for things that could have that next 30% pop. I think when you get caught in the bearish side and you're missing the fact that earnings are growing rapidly, profit margins are going up across the board. We have the most important technology accelerating at a pace that earnings have shown with Oracle. We've had Google, Amazon, Microsoft all say they don't have enough capacity for the people on their side. So the hyperscalers are trying to buy stuff from Oracle. They don't have it. And as a user, I agree with what Sam Altman and everyone has said, which is they don't have enough capacity to let this thing run full. They have governors like on a golf cart on all of the models. So you can't use it to its fullest potential, even at the $200 price clip. So I think people are bearish because of history, of being locked into something. I've seen a lot of the performance numbers, and yeah, there's always some funds that are doing well. But for the most part, the reason people are still bearish is they don't think that the way the administration has dealt with things this year, with tariffs, with pressuring the Fed, that this won't end badly. And I think they're locked into something. I think the end game ends up being for them. They are dictated by their investor base. And I think between now and the end of the year, you're cutting rates into a strong economy. You're cutting rates into something where I think the PMIs are coming up, and you're cutting rates into a scenario that Oracle just said. Demand is outstripping supply. They should be long stocks.
I keep hearing people bring up the R word. They keep saying recession, the dirty word recession. Do you think that there is a possible recession on the horizon?
Not only is there no possibility of a recession, and again, I live in a world of probabilities of some kind of distribution of outcome. The reason there can't be a recession, again, you have to redefine it. Will the government and the Fed allow there to be a bunch of job losses at some massive level that leads to a credit cycle unwind? It can't happen anymore. There can be a slowdown. We could be in a recession right now. Technically, they could go, well, look what happened. We didn't have a lot of job creation. But GDP is still growing right now at 3%. And after we had that first quarter where everyone kind of flipped out before the tariffs, where we had the trade, back and forth, and then we got the reversal back, we still have this growing. But the easiest way to do this is to look at nominal GDP seen through revenues. Revenues are growing for the companies, and we have a build out of AI that's going to be explosive now. When Oracle says we have back orders of 5 years, here's what is going to be a problem for them and everybody. We don't have the power to generate that. I did the numbers and I went through ChatGPT and said, hey, the 300 billion in orders they have, how much power is needed for that? So it goes through its assumptions and it comes back and says you need the power of what's equivalent to Japan's consumption of electricity. So then I take that answer, I put it into Gemini and go, will you check that answer for me and come up with an analysis on your end? It says, well, that's a little bit overstated, blah, blah, blah. It comes back. And by the time it's done, it comes back with Germany. I don't care what you're talking about. The amount of build out that needs to happen on this stuff is there. For the people who do believe there's a recession, whenever we've had job creation at this low a level, We've either been in a recession or just about to go into a recession. That is the reason why people are bringing up the recession. It has nothing to do with the other things that are positive. I believe the economy is going through a very big change where consumption will continue to just kind of putter along here, driven by the non-cyclical part of what happens, which is healthcare. And then on the flip side, we are going to see power needs. We're going to see pump needs. We're going to see battery needs. We're going to see solar. We are going to need so many things on the industrial side that manufacturing thing that the White House wanted to focus on, it's coming, and it's coming in a pretty big way.
Any updated thoughts on Bitcoin?
I like the way the charts are starting to play out. I think this was an important month because I wanted to see if it finally responded to good news, but it's the ecosystem, the broader things. I'm seeing a lot of mini breakouts technically right now. And these are just small things for me, but we talked about Ethereum when it got through 4,000. What I really wanted to see was Ethereum got through 4,000. Now it's been consolidating between 4 and 5. Great. All-time highs are up around 5. Once it actually breaks through and goes, we need the entire ecosystem to be going. And that means Dogecoin needs to be going and Sui needs to be going and other parts that are showing up. And each of them has they're all moving in a synchronized manner right now. So I think there's going to be a chase in these things that is going to start. I'm still, like I said, I'm not worried about Bitcoin a year from now. I'm not worried. I was already wrong on how far I thought it would be this year, but I still think before now and the end of the year with what's happening on stocks, and they kind of have a little melt up look to them. We still don't have sentiment at high enough levels. So I think between now and the end of the year, if I'm right about the PMIs, I think Bitcoin will still get up. I'm not going to put any more levels on because it's not going to where I thought 3 months ago. But everything's starting to look like it's starting to move higher.
Are you telling people that they're not bullish enough? Is that what I just heard? Like Bitcoin can't go up until people are more bullish?
No. The market. You know what the best thing, having been in this thing for a while now, and again, I've said this repeatedly, MicroStrategy, when people start sending me something like, are these companies going to blow up now? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, MicroStrategy, the premium's coming in. How do you think about it? So everyone hears this. And I don't know why. MicroStrategy's premium to me is a sentiment gauge of Bitcoin. Okay. So when the community is really enthusiastic, the premium heads up towards 3. When Bitcoin's stuck for a while and people get bored with it, it starts to migrate towards 1.5. And that's kind of the way I view it is a sentiment gauge, just like for stocks, you have all these sentiment gauges. When people in the community decide that it's time to buy, they will jump on this in a very quick manner. Between now and the end of the year, the allocations of Bitcoin for next year from the traditional finance world are going to be increased. That is going to happen. And we make a lot of decisions on Wall Street for next year. When people make their allocation changes, I think that's going to happen in the final quarter of this year. And I think Bitcoin's allocation number will go higher across portfolios.
I tend to agree with you. I think Bitcoin's going higher. I think stocks are going higher. I think all the bears are wrong. They're going to cry. And I don't think a recession's coming.
People are going to cry. Anthony Pompliano.